Welcome to the City Center Podcast. I'm Jerry Marcello. The past 6 years have been a tumultuous time for the city of West Palm Beach. From the dark days of the pandemic to overwhelming optimism about the future, West Palm has prospered like no other city. Today, we'll talk with Mayor Keith James about how the city got here, how 2025 is shaping up, and what he sees is in store for the city on the move. Coming up next. And joining us today is Mayor Keith James. Mr. Mayor, appreciate you making time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, one of the things I want to touch on right away is one of the signatures of your campaign and your administration has been the concept of a community of opportunity for all. Beautiful words. How did you develop that idea? And more importantly, how does that really resonate now in 2025?
I came up with the idea because I was actually out on a morning walk one day, and I was just kind of thinking, I don't know why I was on this line of thought. Both of my children, I've got a son who is now 37, a daughter who is 35. Both of them were born here in West Palm Beach, educated here, matriculated through the public schools, and each of them went off. My son went to Duke undergrad, my daughter went to Harvard. But they never once thought about coming back to West Palm Beach to actually live, right? They were pursuing their careers, they're pursuing their educational opportunities and their professional opportunities. They felt they had to leave West Palm Beach to pursue those opportunities. And I thought to myself, why can't West Palm Beach be a place where there is indeed an opportunity, a community of opportunity for all? This was pre-COVID. This was because I ran for office, was elected in March of 2019. So this is well before COVID. But that was kind of my idea. Why can't we create a city where young, talented people who grow up here can feel that either they can live here or return here to pursue their particular opportunities? And that's how I really came up with it. It's really kind of a personal thing with me. Wow, I'd love to have my kids feel like, now they may still want to go to New York or California, but at least feel like West Palm Beach was an option.
You talked about young people wanting to return to West Palm Beach or stay in West Palm Beach. Do you feel that we've started to make progress in creating an environment where young people will want to stay?
Oh, absolutely. Because I think we're now bringing the jobs here that these people would like to have. We're also bringing educational institutions, with Vanderbilt establishing a graduate MBA program, engineering, and it would also have some cybersecurity and financial services, that type of thing. So young people may go off to get their undergraduate someplace else, but at least the Vanderbilt might be an option for them if they grew up here. But also the jobs are here. That's one reason why Vanderbilt is coming here, because the companies with the jobs of tomorrow are being attracted to West Palm Beach, and I think you create a critical mass. Once you get a few of these young people here, whether it's in the financial services industry, which we already have, or in what I think was what's on the pipeline, what's coming down the pipeline, is a tech hub, more tech companies coming here. Now it creates an energy in and of itself,
right.
And I guess one of the biggest compliments, going back to my daughter, I don't know why I'm making this so personal, but it is personal. My daughter happened to be here a few weeks ago. She now resides in Cape Town, South Africa. It's a whole nother story. But, you know, we were out having lunch at some place, and she voluntarily stated, she said, "Wow, Dad, West Palm Beach is getting pretty cool." As the mayor of this city, that's probably the ultimate compliment coming from my daughter. She has very sophisticated taste. So for her to say that she's seeing West Palm Beach is cool, that's the ultimate compliment.
That is a great goal to have. Okay, so you mentioned before that you started your time as mayor in 2019.
Yes.
6 years have gone by. Reflect on how you've had, what your successes have been over the 6 years, and what do you think about the remaining 2 years?
Well, another plank in my campaigning platform was public safety is job number one. So when I think about what we've accomplished over the 6 years, I go back to the fundamentals. And I think we've done a very good job of making West Palm Beach safer, making people feel safer in our city. When I was running, West Palm Beach had 3 consecutive years, where in each of those years there were 18 murders. 18 murders. Indeed, West Palm Beach was in the top 10 on a per capita basis for the most violent city in the nation. This is back 2017, 2018, 2019. So we have come a long way since then. Violent crimes have gone down significantly. And so that, to me, is the major accomplishment. Now, that doesn't mean the job is done. If we have one more murder, that's one too many. Okay, so we still have to be vigilant and intentional about continuing to make West Palm Beach feel safe and secure. Having made significant progress there, another area, and this goes back to my goal of making West Palm Beach a community of opportunity for all, what kind of housing opportunities do we have? To some degree, West Palm Beach has been a victim of its own success. As the word has gotten out about what West Palm Beach is, who we are as a city, more and more people looking to move down here. The simple supplies of supply and demand, simple laws of supply and demand, enter into the picture when it comes to housing. As you put more and more demand for housing there, the prices will go up. So I have to continue as the mayor to continue to be intentional about doing whatever we can as a city, whatever policies we can adopt, whatever ordinances we can adopt to incentivize the developers to give us more affordable and workforce housing. And we're making progress there. I established a goal of 1,400 units in 8 years of having 1,400 units of affordable housing completed or on the books by the time I finish up my second term in 2027. I'm happy to say I think we're about 72% of the way there, and I'm confident that in the next 2 years we will have exceeded that. 1,400 may not sound like a lot, but relatively speaking, that's more than any other municipality has put on the books, and it's more than the county has put on the books. So I'm proud of our success. Could we do more? Do I want to do more? Absolutely. But we at least have a tangible goal that I think we will far exceed.
You've talked a little bit about the city's success. Now, obviously, from the days of the pandemic to now, we've seen exponential growth and a attraction of financial business to the area. How did this happen? How did we get there?
It has been a unique, the stars became aligned, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've told this story before. In fact, I was quoted in the Wall Street Journal telling this story. The first time I met Stephen Ross, who is the head of Related Ross, used to be head of Related, billionaire owner of the Dolphins. The first time I met him was when we had a groundbreaking for a major luxury residential project that they were doing. I had never met him. I dealt with his partner, Ken Himmel, over the years when I was a commissioner. And so this must have been in probably 2020. Anyway, first time I met him, he comes over to me. We shake hands, go through the normal niceties, and he looks me in the eye. He says, "Mr. Mayor, I want you to know I'm spending money in your city like a drunken sailor." Anytime a billionaire tells you they're spending that much money, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But what I was most encouraged by, he says, poked me in the chest. He says, "I'm doing it because of your leadership." So to answer your question more directly, there is a convergence of public sector and private sector pursuing a common goal. I've made it very clear, this goes back to my vision of making West Palm Beach a community of opportunity for all. In other words, inclusive growth. It's important to me that as we continue to grow as a city, that the benefits of this growth extend throughout my city. That is a message that I preach whenever I talk to developers or businesses that are looking to come to the city, and it's something I was consistent when I talked to Mr. Ross about. It resonated with him because I think he understood, as someone who has developed projects throughout the world and certainly throughout this country, that it's not just the buildings. You got to have a healthy community. in order to attract the tenants that they're looking to attract. So you have a unique convergence of certainly the public sector, me, articulating this goal, inclusive growth, and a private sector, a significant private sector partner, related Ross, Stephen Ross, who also believes that inclusive growth is a worthwhile goal. And so those two partnerships, those two forces are coming together to pursue the goal of inclusive growth. To Mr. Ross's benefit, and he's brought other developers on, they're doing more than just building buildings. And that's what I tell these guys. I want you to I don't need more pretty buildings in my city. I need help building a community. So to him, it's more than just building the buildings. He has been very influential in attracting the Vanderbilt project to come here. He's been very involved in attracting Cleveland Clinic come here because he recognized there's a need for quality health care, and also looking at opportunities for both public and private K through 12 educational opportunities, recognizing that all of those factors have to come together to have the kind of community that the companies that they're looking to attract, the tenants they're looking to attract, will want to, where the employees of those companies will want to be.
What do you say to people who say that the city has grown too far and too fast?
Well, you know, one thing I learned in this business of being an elected official or politician, as some people call me, is you can never please everyone. Listen, some people are afraid of change. Others welcome change. My job as the mayor is to try to create the balance. How can we grow? How can we grow and to be the city of tomorrow without sacrificing some of the special characteristics that we have? We've got to be balanced. We've got to be smart. That's why it's so important to make sure that the benefits of the growth are spread throughout the city. If you only have a certain corner of our city that is prospering, and believe me, West Palm Beach has seen growth spurts in the past, but inevitably there are certain communities, certain neighborhoods, certain zip codes that were left out and left behind. I did not want that to happen on my watch. You can't have uber wealthy within blocks of abject poverty. That combination won't work. That is not the model for a sustainable community. So to me, it's very important that as we do this change, as we create an environment where change is welcomed, that we're smart about the growth. Yes, the skyline's changing. There's more traffic. But if we have more jobs for people, if we have more opportunities, whether it's in education, whether it's in employment, whether it's in housing, for folks who might not have otherwise had those opportunities, if we have more smarter mobility and transportation options where we're not just moving people, but we're not just moving cars, but we're moving people, if we are more of a technologically savvy city. Okay, so we need to combine all of those things as we think about growth. But I'm not afraid of the naysayers who say, no, we just need to stay the size that we were when my grandfather came here and settled down. I'm very frank. West Palm Beach is no longer your grandfather's West Palm Beach. I'm not ashamed of that. But my challenge continues to be as mayor of this city to ensure that we are smart about our growth.
Indeed, West Palm Beach is no longer our grandfather's city. But a question I have for you, what are the challenges that we face making this city our grandchildren's city?
Well, a couple of things. One is we have to anticipate what the jobs of tomorrow are going to be. We can't build based upon old assumptions. We have to be wise and anticipate what's coming down the pike so that we can create an environment in which those opportunities are being created in our city. We still have to stick to some of the basics, though. And I go back to what I was saying before. Public safety is indeed job number one. We have to continue to focus on that, because if people don't feel safe on the streets that they walk, on the streets that they live on, whether in the play, if their kids don't feel safe, if they don't, as a parent, they don't feel safe, they don't feel that their kids are safe in the playgrounds or in the schools. No matter how many beautiful office buildings we build, no matter how many jobs we try to create, they won't be able to take those jobs if we aren't smart about public safety. So that's job one. But the other thing is, I, as the mayor of the city, have to be intentional about pursuing and making West Palm Beach a community of opportunity for all. So when I sit down with the CEOs and the CFOs of companies that are looking to come here, I have to be very candid and very upfront about what my vision is. And many times in those conversations, I'll look the CEO and the CFOs in the eye, and I say, listen, you all are going to be okay as occupiers of the C-suite. I said, but I guarantee you the people that you're looking to hire and retain want to live in an inclusive, safe community. And so that's my job, to continue to build that environment so that companies will continue to look to invest.
Let's take a snapshot, 2025.
Yes.
We're coming up on about halfway through. It's been a tumultuous year.
Yeah.
Where are we? How do you feel about the year? What is the positives and negatives that you see for 2025?
I will start my answer to that question by saying I'm an eternal optimist. I have to be in this business. Sure. To me, the glass is always half full, and I'm just trying to get the glass more full. So having prefaced my answer to that, I am cautiously, I continue to be optimistic about the future of our city. And if you look at the geographical location of where West Palm Beach, vis-a-vis the center of the universe, Mar-a-Lago, I think that actually works to the city's benefit. Because, first of all, we, the city, provide water to Mar-a-Lago, to the resident of Mar-a-Lago. So it's in his best interest that West Palm Beach continues to be a healthy, vibrant city. But I've also said publicly, and yes, I do take advantage of that. And even though we may be from different political camps, I recognize the opportunity that is being presented to us as being literally right across the bridge from the summer or the winter White House. I've had the opportunity to go over there and address the president personally about some of the initiatives that we're looking to do here. And so that was an opportunity to get an audience with him. And I needed to do that because I am the mayor of the city. So it's important that he at least hopefully have a favorable response to the person he knows is the mayor of the city that's literally right across the bridge. But I've also stated publicly in another forum that, and this was at a board meeting of the African American Mayors Association. I'm a member of their board. And this was in a meeting in January, shortly after the swearing in of the new administration. And I told my fellow board members, all of whom are African American, I said, listen, black mayors should not be the face of opposition to this new administration. I said it would be hazardous to your personal political health, and it would also adversely affect your city. I mean, we just have to be honest. We understand the person who's occupying the White House now. I said, but we have to be strategic in how we address the challenges with which we are going to be confronted in the upcoming and under this administration. And so I point out a couple of things that I think we as black mayors need to do. One is we need to do a level set or a stress test on what's going to happen if the policies that we're hearing coming out of Washington are indeed adopted, whether there are certain grants that are going to no longer be made, whether there's an attack on DEI and that might adversely affect the jobs that people might get. We need to do that stress test and have that data. Then we need to take that data to the business people in our community, no matter where you may be located. I happen to be located right across the bridge. Others would be in the Midwest, out on the West Coast, et cetera. But inevitably, there will be members of the business community who supported the new president, which is fine. But they're also members of your community. So you need to sit down with them, whether it's through a chamber of commerce or whatever other business organization or one-on-one, and share with them the data that you as the mayor and you and your team have put together as to how these policies will adversely affect our city. This is not a national fight we're fighting. This is a very localized battle. And so I need you, Mr. or Mr. Businessman or Mrs. Businesswoman, A, to understand how our city will be adversely affected, and then B, work with me to take the message back to the occupier of the White House and say, we need your help. What you're doing now is going to adversely affect us for the following reasons. All right? And I, the businessman talking, was a supporter of yours, Mr. President. So I need you to help me make my community a stronger community. In other words, we can't be out front in this fight. We need to choose our allies in this fight, but we have to do it based upon data and not just feelings or emotions.
Right. So it's really a science that we're looking at. You're looking at data and making decisions, strategic decisions, based on what the city really needs.
Absolutely. What the city needs and what we anticipate the city will not get, or the blowback that the city will receive because of some things that are in place. And it's also a messaging thing, right?
Right.
We have to be realistic, even though we may strongly feel that DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion programs are important. Let's be realistic and change the name. I mean, and let's not call it DEI, or call it something else that is more palatable to the taste.
Indeed. We have an opportunity here for you to send a message to the residents of West Palm Beach. Here we are, mid-2025. What is that message? The
message is West Palm Beach is in very good hands, and West Palm Beach is headed in the right direction. We have a very positive, upward trajectory, and you have a leadership of the city that is very focused and very intentional about our growth continuing to be balanced and effective.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for joining us. The City Center Podcast is a production of the Communications Department for the City of West Palm Beach. I'm Jerry Marcello. We'll see you next time.